everybody, and welcome to my channel. It's your friendly neighborhood sassy blonde writer. Today we're talking about how I became a pantser, and this is like a little companion video to my video where I compare and contrast being a pantser versus being a planner.
I've written one book through NaNoWriMo and then two through Camp NaNoWriMo. Each time I tried something different. My first book, I mapped out everything that would happen, including subplots, side characters, etc. And I noticed I kept changing things as I wrote. And as I wrote, I also found myself coming up with new things about the characters that I thought were better and that I would have to change them in my outline, and it would be a whole freaking process. And that became really frustrating because I had put in all this work into my outline and then I ended up changing it anyway. All the resources I kept looking at kept telling me to use an outline. So I went in to write a mystery for Camp NaNoWriMo, and I plotted it out as well because I figured I'm writing a mystery, I should probably know what that mystery is. And if I'm writing a whodunit, I as the writer should probably know whodunit. One thing I also noticed as I was doing all this outlining for my mystery specifically is that while I was writing, I would get bored because I had done all this pre-writing work. My outlines would be so in-depth. I would get to a point where it's like, I would find myself thinking, I already figured it out in the outline. Why do I need to write it all out in the actual book? I'm not saying it was the correct assumption, but it would be the assumption that I would reach. Then, when I wrote my third book, I wrote it the opposite way. And I figured for NaNoWriMo, I would try something new, so I started my novel from the beginning. So I started my novel knowing the beginning, the climax, and the end in mind, and that was it. The characters were based off of a previous book I had written, so I already knew the protagonists and side characters and that sort of thing. This was because when I planned out my first book, there were two major issues I kept having as I was planning it out. So I figured this time I might as well just make it up as I go along. Maybe that would help me avoid the issues. This is the book that I have been working on revising and editing because I'll get to that. In doing this, I realized that the blank page makes me feel anxious. I'll link to that video about helping with blank page anxiety down below. It can just be a lot of extra work to be a pantser when you're editing. That's all I got for you today. So those are the pros and cons of being a pantser versus a planner. Weigh which one works more for you. I highly recommend trying either way to kind of gauge what helps you do better as a writer. Again, one is not better than the other, they're just different strokes for different folks. Everybody has their own unique style, and these are just the two main camps. Again, I don't think there's anything wrong with either of them. It just doesn't work for everybody, so don't get caught up on one versus the other. That's all I got for you today. If you like this video, please hit that like button. If you want more content like this, please hit subscribe so you can see more of my fabulous videos. And of course, happy writing!